Have zero idea if this is working. Absolutely zero idea. Probably isn't actually. If it is, bear with me and maybe skip ahead a few minutes. This is all very confusing. Yep, it's not coming up for whatever reason. See, I've just spent like 40 minutes trying to sort this out and it doesn't really look like it's working. Unless there's just a huge delay. See, I've just spent like 40 minutes trying to sort this out, it doesn't really look... Right, okay, so we got something. We got something, I guess. Which doesn't really... which doesn't really mean anything. Right, should we just... Right, we've got a comment down there from Nintendo 2009. What up, bro? Hello. I don't know if... I mean, really, again, I've been on here for about 45 minutes trying to figure out exactly how to get this going, basically. I've had to download and install software and all kinds of bullshit, and it's just been a right ball ache, to be honest. I mean, where were the days where you could just log on to YouTube and just sign in and go live on Google Hangouts? Boom, done, finished. None of this arsing around downloading software and learning about encoding and all that crap. I mean, honestly, every time I try and do one of these live streams, they've changed it all completely, and it's a complete, clusterfuck, honestly. And I still don't even know if this is properly working, so... God knows what this is. Even this is just a complete shambles from start to finish, because I wanted this to start and for me to just get on going with the video, but it just ain't happening. Anyway, right, it looks like we're live. It looks like it's recording something. I don't know. I think there's a massive delay. I talked to you on Facebook. It's Dale Stark. Hey Dale, how's it going, man? Let me know how this looks, how this sounds, what the delay is like from when I just replied to you. I literally replied to that comment as soon as you posted it, so try and give me an idea of what's going on here and if you're reading me through on the live stream. Anyway, right, let's just get into this, because I haven't really got the time to kind of delve into what I wanted to talk about, which was Horror Month 2015, 100 Years of Horror, I like to call it. Basically my own little project to watch as many horror films, well, not as many, but to watch, my goal I set myself was to watch 31 new horror films in October 2015. Last year I did a little horror month, I made a few videos about it, and I watched I think about 20 films. But this year I wanted to watch 31 horror films I'd never seen before, and I think I ended up watching, I've got the list down here, 35 films altogether, and I did hit just over 31 of horror films that I have never seen before. Matthew Brown, hi, how's it going? Sir Christoph, big fan, love your videos, thank you very much. Thanks for joining the stream. Hopefully it's working now. I really don't know. Whatever, we'll just get on with it and see what happens. See how it goes. If any of you have any questions, then feel free to ask them. All right. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out this this interface, which is very confused. I've got this program downloaded right now that's kind of streaming to YouTube. Like, it's not in the YouTube box, it's in a separate program. I don't know. Let's just get into what I want to talk about today with this stream. The first film I watched, and I'm going to go through every film, and some of them I'll breeze through, some of them I'll talk about in more detail. Some of them I've already talked about in previous videos this month, or past month, I guess, in October. So yeah, it'll be a bit of a mishmash of detail in all the films. First one, October 1st, was Insidious Chapter 3, and so there's a bit of a crossover there from last year, because the last film we watched on Halloween last year, 2014, was Insidious, and we loved it. It was a really good film. And so on November 1st, the night after, we carried on. We went to Insidious Chapter 2. Really enjoyed that one as well. And so it only seemed fitting that on the 1st of October 2015, we watched Insidious Chapter 3. Now, I was a bit reticent about it because it was a prequel. And if you've seen the films, you'll kind of know what I mean. But I did enjoy it. I thought it was a decent film. There were some really good parts to it. Some pretty good scenes. But overall, it just didn't really come close to the quality of the first two films, I think. Though the actress who appears in Chapter 3, she's a main character in the first two films as well. So yeah, I thought she was fantastic in the first two films, and she was great in the third one as well. The guy who wrote the films, I believe he came up with the whole franchise, Lee Winnell, I think it is. He also wrote Saw, and he was in the original Saw. He's the guy in the bathroom who doesn't saw his foot off. Spoilers. And he's not really a great actor, and he really wasn't good in Part 3, I don't think. But it was a decent enough film. Alright, got some more comments from Matthew Brown, loving your road to Star Wars. Love your videos, thank you very much. Glad you're enjoying the Star Wars videos. And Prodigon, or how do you pronounce that? Says hello, how's it going? Number 2, the next horror film I watched for 2015. And again, almost all of these are first watches, which is something I wanted to do. And again, 100 Years of Horror, I wanted to watch horror films from at least every decade of the past 100 years. So number 2, on the 2nd of October, Island of Lost Souls from 1932. The latest Insidious came out this year. So went way back to the Island of Lost Souls, 1932. Which again, some of these films aren't technically quote-unquote horrors either. They're not hardcore, like slashers or whatever, or gore films. They're kind of blur the edges a little bit, because for me, a horror film is something that has dark elements to it, and so I'm kind of lenient when it comes to what I accept as a horror film. That's a whole other subject. Island of Lost Souls, I wasn't sure if it was going to be one of those films, but for me it is. Basically, you have this man who gets stranded on this island with this Dr. Moreau, played by Charles Lawton, and he's a strange character who has this island, and he has some weird things going on that he's been experimenting with. And basically, there's these kind of people he's been messing around with DNA, basically, and so you have these weird kind of I don't know if I can grab the steelbook. Maybe if I can just quickly grab it, give you a closer idea. Where is it? There it is. Try not to bring the whole shelf down. We got it right. So here's the steelbook, and that's kind of you don't really see this character in the film really, but that's kind of what you're dealing with. It's kind of weird, mutated, kind of half animal, half humans, kind of really cool designs on them and stuff, and creepy. And so the main character, played by Richard Arlen, who's in one of my favorite silent films, Wings. It was great to see him in a speaking role. And again, I've talked about this actually. Yeah, I talked about this in I think it was my Friday Night Ritual video that I did at the beginning of October, so you can go back and check out fuller thoughts on that. But overall, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. Sir Christoph asks, what is your most memorable experience of watching a horror movie? Oh, that's a good one. What is my most memorable experience watching a horror film? Again, it's not my most preferred genre, which is why I try to push myself to watch more films in 2015, in this year. And I hope to kind of keep it the tradition every year as well, maybe put in a little challenge for myself every year to watch, maybe not 31 new horror films, but at least more new ones than old ones. Yeah, it's not a genre I dislike. It's just not one that I like watching all the time regularly. So, favorite experience, I don't know. I suppose watching The Omen when I was a kid, when I was about 15, scared the shit out of me. And I never get scared at films, and I'm not saying that to be all big and stuff, because I played I played Alien Isolation, right? I streamed the whole thing on my gaming channel. This scared the shite out of me, and I'm I'm almost 30 in a few years, and this absolutely terrified me. So I'm not saying that I can't get scared, but generally films don't scare me at all. But the two exceptions were The Omen when I was 15, absolutely terrified me. I just couldn't get to sleep afterwards. So that was kind of a memorable horror experience, I guess, if not the best one. And then the other one is The Shining, when that old lady comes out of the shower. Oh my god, that is the most horrific thing I've ever seen, probably. So probably my most memorable experience watching a horror film. Or if you want to go back to if you want to go to a film that I really love, then it would be the first time I saw The Thing or the first time I saw Aliens, and I can't really remember specifically when those first watches were. Daniel H says Conjuring scary. I think it's again, it's scary in the way that, I don't know, I don't get scared by it, but I think it's quite a scary film. I thought The Conjuring was a really effective modern horror film. There's not many of them out there, I don't think. Not that I watch a lot of them, but from the modern films I've seen, The Conjuring to me was a really, really good one. Moving on, number 3, the third film I saw was The Invisible Man. And we got Darren Locke. The only film to ever freak me out was The Evil Dead, which I saw at 11 years old when it was still a video nasty. Oh, that dates back a bit, doesn't it? That dates back long before my time, in fact. Well, not long before, but a little bit before. I used to remember going into was it Ritz Video Store, which is no longer there now in Penarth, where I come from, and they had all the VHS tapes, the big kind of bold VHS cover artwork, which is always amazing. And I used to always look at The Fly and just be really intrigued and scared by it, and just like, oh, The Fly. And then eventually I saw it and it was awesome. But I mean, as a kid, that really kind of that scared me, just the cover, but it was kind of a good scare where you're intrigued at the same time. Horace Walker at Wimp, nice to see you doing a live stream. How's it going, man? Get back on the Conway Diaries. Come on, get running, get on the road, man. Don't give up. You can do it. I believe in you. You should get back on it, man. But I've been loving the Spain vlogs. I need to catch up on one of those, actually. Will this be uploaded later? Yeah, the only reason I'm doing this literally is because I know that it's going to take me a while to talk through these. In fact, I might not have time to finish it now, to be honest, so I might do a second part. But because again, I was gearing up to start at 7 o'clock, if you can believe that. I mean, it's been such a ball ache, honestly. But yeah, this will be up on the channel. Hopefully, anyway, fingers crossed. I mean, I don't know, I'm using a new program now, so I'm not sure what the deal is, but hopefully, yeah, it will be uploaded later. It'll be, archived, and I just didn't have time to kind of film a really long video and then render it and upload it, because I'm busy doing other stuff at the minute. So yeah, that's right. Get running, man. Get on the road. Yeah, The Invisible Man, the third film of the month. Absolutely loved it. Universal horror film. It was just, I have the Universal Monsters box set, and it was just, it's my favourite one that I've seen so far. Basically a guy I mean, the mood is amazing from the first shot when he's on that road and it's snowing and stuff, and he walks into that bar and everyone's looking at him funny and he's like, I want a room now. And basically the actor, you don't see, I mean, spoilers, but you don't see his actual face until the very end of the film. I won't say how, but you do get to see his face, a glimpse of it. But for the most part, the entire film, you don't see the actor's face, and I forget what his name was, but he was amazing. His voice was fantastic, the way he carried himself, and the effects for 1933, unbelievable. I was expecting the kind of Invisible Man stuff to look a bit shit, honestly. Some of them look a bit ropey, but there's some of them that just look so good. I think, how did they fucking do that? So the one where he's taking the bandages off and he's laughing at everyone, it's just like superb, honestly. The only thing I didn't like about it was the woman who runs the inn was just screaming all the time, and it was really annoying. But apart from that, it was such a great film, and just they kind of explained how the stuff that he'd made, that turned himself invisible, was turning him crazy as well. So basically, he goes on this killing spree, and it's just like mental. He's going around just laughing and like derailing trains and shit, and it's just like, wow. And I just loved how they tried to catch him and stuff, and the police effort and everything, and then kind of how he kind of ended up and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, I really recommend The Invisible Man. I've seen Hollow Man, the Kevin Bacon film from I think 2000 or something. That wasn't very good, but this one, definitely check it out. It's only like an hour and 10 minutes. It shows you how much they can pack in as well. Like, it never got boring, and it never felt like it was too short either. Top film. Really, really loved it. And then number 4, Unfriended. Unfriended is a recent film from this year, which basically takes all of it takes place on a desktop screen on a laptop, which is a really interesting concept. And I thought, like, after about 10 minutes, I was like, this is it, isn't it? This is the whole film. It takes place on this girl's laptop, and I thought, this isn't going to work, but it did. Now, there's probably a few, yeah, Hollow Man's crap, Carl said. I mean, I saw it when it came out, so I was a teenager, but it didn't seem that good to me back then, so, you know, Kevin Bacon, you know. Yeah, Unfriended, right? So, I mean, there's a few weak points to it, but I thought it was basically a revenge story. It's a kind of supernatural revenge story. And the fact that, I'm getting distracted by the comments now. The fact that, it takes place within like a Skype conversation, and it's kind of about like cliques and how certain groups of friends kind of band together against kind of people in their friend group, you know, when something goes wrong. I'm probably explaining this in too much of a convoluted way, but basically I really like the idea of it, because I've known people who are like that, who are very friendly to someone to their face in a high school setting, and then when something goes wrong, they slip up or do something, they embarrass themselves, they just pounce on them, you know. And sometimes they won't even kind of do it to their face, and that's what Unfriended was about, and I really enjoyed it. Really surprising, not a great film, but a decent concept, and I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I was getting distracted. Darren Locke was saying they never really captured the insanity of Claude Rains. That's the guy who played the Invisible Man. Yeah, it's all about his unhinged performance. Yeah, definitely. I thought it was just his, from when he's like laughing and like showing off and stuff and taking off the bandage, to when he gets to his friend's house and he's just like, "You're gonna stay here," and you're gonna, you know, I loved it. Brilliant. No, it's alright, Carl, no worries, man. It's good to be distracted, and it's cool to have quite a few viewers. I was surprised again. This I don't know. Sometimes people aren't around. Great concept. Unfriended was, they'll probably do that type of film to death now. Yeah, that's a good point. I saw they did there was a Channel 4 film, I think, called Cyberbully, the Maisie Williams, the girl from Game of Thrones. I might watch that. I heard that was pretty good. I don't think that takes place all on a computer screen though, but yeah, they probably will. That probably will be the next thing, won't it? Just films that take place on a desktop. But yeah, pretty good. Now, number 5, Videodrome, which I talked about. I did a whole video about, called, I think, Experiencing Videodrome. And yeah, I saw that a couple of times when I was a teenager on late night TV, and was just blown away by the effects. Was just like, really, like, this is so weird and like different and awesome, and again, scratchy, kind of grainy, like the tracking wasn't quite right. I had like one of those really small kind of dingy aerials on the top of my TV, so I mean, literally, it was just like the worst fuzzy quality you can imagine. But I was watching it at like, I don't know, like 1 o'clock in the morning on probably BBC Two or ITV, something like that, maybe even Channel 4. And I was just like blown away by the practical effects and stuff. Then I saw a bit of it again a few years ago. I was staying over at a friend's house before a wrestling show, and it came on the TV. I was like, stay on that, and they're like, what? And then they just, their eyes just were slowly widening. They were like, this is fucking ridiculous. So I said to Connie, let's watch this film, Videodrome. So we put it on. Yeah, I think she still hates me a little bit for it, and I have to say, I kind of get it, because I don't think it's a great film. I mean, fair enough if you enjoy it, if you get certain things out of it. I love the 80s aesthetic, just the, again, fuzzy TV and VHS or Betamax it was in the film. The practical effects are still amazing, they're still impressive, all that kind of stuff, but I just feel like overall it doesn't work as a film for me that much. I don't think I'll be revisiting it anytime soon. Late to the party, I think. Have you talked about It Follows yet? No. That'll be at the very end, and I think I might have to do a part 2 of this stream, unfortunately, because it started so late. I couldn't figure out the software and everything. Distraction, what's 9 plus 10? It's 15, isn't it? Carl says, I liked It Follows, great concept. 21. Alright, well, you guys just have fun in the chat, and I'll just carry on with this. Number 6, The Others. I also did a video about that. I did a day in the life vlog, and I talked about everything I did that day. So The Others was another film I talked about. Nicole Kidman, 2001. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good film, actually. I really enjoyed the story, and it's one of those films that has, I hate saying that there's a twist in the film, because then it's almost spoiling it then. But it's like a twist, and then oh wait, like, you know, like I really liked where they went with it. Like, I'll say one thing. Halfway through the film, I said, wouldn't it be funny if this happened? And I just thought, obviously that's not going to happen. It would be a huge twist, but it's not going to happen. And it did. And I was like, holy shit. Great performances. Yeah, really good film, The Others. I enjoyed that a lot. Number 7, Maggie. Recent film. I think I talked about that again in another video, like a vlog I did up in the woods. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Abigail Breslin, who's the little girl in Little Miss Sunshine, and she's basically been infected by this zombie virus, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's her dad. Very slow film, not much happens really, but it's about their relationship, the father-daughter relationship. Pretty sure that she's a female, yeah. And basically how they deal with the fact that she's been bit, she's going to be infected, she's going to turn into a zombie, and they've kind of set up kind of like ways where they can ship off kind of kids that have been infected to like a quarantine area where they'll basically be killed. And he doesn't really want to do that. And so yeah, I thought it was quite powerful, very slow. I can understand people not enjoying it very much, but I really liked it a lot. The cinematography was quite nice and the performances were very good. Who were some of the YouTubers you've seen that made you want to make a video? It was Cool Duda and Wet Movie 1, I'm guessing for you. There was a guy called Gemini. I forget the rest of his username. He used to make wrestling DVD videos. That was one of the key motivators for me getting into the community, because I started making wrestling videos, and then I slowly transitioned over to the movie community. So then from there it was kind of people like Robbie Webster, Ryan Chataway, and Zaron Isaac. Have you got any of the Slasher Classics collection that 88 Films are releasing? Says James Fawkes. No, I'm not really into slashers that much. Again, it's just a genre I've never really gotten into. I don't have no dislike for it or anything. It's just I haven't really explored that genre that much, so I haven't got anything from 88 Films. Darren Locke says Schwarzenegger's making a movie biopic about a famous classical composer. It's called I'll Be Back, I'll Get Me Coat. Good luck with that, it's cold outside. Number 8, The Hound of the Baskervilles from 1959. Now, this isn't really a horror film, but it's kind of like a chiller, you could call it. And it's a Hammer film that stars Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. And I was just intrigued because I've been a big fan of Star Wars. I love Peter Cushing as Grand Moff Tarkin, but I've never really seen him in anything else. So I thought, let's just pop this on, see what it's like, and I absolutely loved it. He was a perfect Sherlock Holmes for me, and I've never really even seen anything from Sherlock Holmes, but I just think he was just amazing. Like his mannerisms and everything, the way he performed. He looked very much like a young Michael Fassbender as well, which is really interesting to me. There's a stark resemblance. I mean, I've since seen him in other films, and I didn't really see it there, but in Hound of the Baskervilles, I really see a bit of Michael Fassbender, and just the jawline and the hair even and stuff. So I could really see Michael Fassbender playing Peter Cushing in something like maybe in a biopic, or maybe he could play him as Grand Moff Tarkin in one of the new Star Wars films. But yeah, Hound of the Baskervilles, great story. I'd never even read it before or seen any other adaptation of it before, so I was surprised about where the story was going, and Christopher Lee was very good in it as well. Really great Hammer film, enjoyed it a lot. If Peter Cushing had married Whoopi Goldberg, she'd have been Whoopi Cushing. We can file that one. Number 9, Scream. Now, I'd seen this before when it came out, but where's my phone? I'd seen Scream before, back when it came out, but I never really had seen it from start to finish. So we chucked that one on, and I think last year we watched all the Chucky movies, the Child's Play films. And so it's kind of going to become a tradition to watch a new horror series. So I thought, let's just do Scream, because I've seen the 4th one, really liked it, but hadn't really seen 2 or 3, and hadn't seen all of the first one. So that's what we did. And the first Scream, I think, is brilliant. It's a really great film. Just the way it plays with kind of the horror conventions and stuff. You look at it now, it's very cheesy and stuff in ways, and definitely when you get to kind of watch your favorite scary movie. But when it came out, obviously, people could view it a bit differently. I think it's very cliched now, but then it's all about cliches at the same time, and I just thought it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Again, some of the younger actors, they kind of just absolutely chewing up the scenery, but that's kind of the fun of it. It's kind of a great film that has got overacting in it, but it's kind of there for a reason, and I just thought it was really smart the way it was laid out and everything. And some fun performances from what's her name, Neve Campbell, I think, and Courtney Cox, and what's his name, David Arquette. Those 3 are great, and they're great in the whole series. So we watched Scream 2, which is film number 10 of the month. And Scream 2, let me try and... the 2 and 3 bleed over for me. The second one... Right, yeah. So the second one, they're all talking about, like... they had it's a sequel, so obviously that's referenced completely, and I loved all the little in-jokes. And the same throughout the whole series, they kind of reference the fact that Wes Craven, who did all the Scream movies, they reference like Nightmare on Elm Street kind of very subtly at times, and they reference other things, and there's just so many like film references and horror references. So if you're a horror fan or a film fan, you'll love all those little things that they say in the film and stuff like that. So the second film plays on the conventions of the sequel and how like the body count has to be higher and things like that, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was pretty good. And then the third one is probably the weakest of the whole series, where they all go to Hollywood, and again then it plays with like the having a series, and like the fact that they've gone back and they're now making a film about, oh no, they make a film about what happened in Scream in the second one, and by the time we get to Scream 3, they've made, it's called what's it called, Stab. So they call it Stab 1, Stab 2. So by the time you get to Scream 3, they're ripping on like horror franchises and stuff, and so I really enjoyed all that. But Neve Campbell, the main character, she's not in that one as much, and so that's probably my only reason for not enjoying it more than the other one. So the third one is the weakest, but I still enjoyed it quite a bit. And you had Lance Henriksen, Bishop from Aliens, who's awesome, and he played a fun role in the film. The reveal at the end wasn't quite as good as the other two, but overall I really enjoyed it. Back to the comments, we got some talk of the Final Destination movies. Still need to see the Chucky movies. They're all on Netflix now. Man, the Chucky films, seriously, like Child's Play, the first one, I think is a really good film, and then the second one's pretty good. The third one goes a bit far, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of like the Nightmare on Elm Street series. It started out with as a kind of sinister concept, and then it just slowly gets run into the ground, but then it comes up again every now and again with just for being so ridiculous, if you know what I mean. Seed of Chucky is terrible. I enjoyed it. It was watchable, but it's a fucking terrible film. Bride of Chucky is awesome. It kind of goes into the Scream kind of territory, where it kind of is referencing itself in a way, going a little bit meta with it. And then the last one, Curse of Chucky, the recent one, was actually pretty good. Final Destination movies, I've seen a few of them. I saw the fifth one in the cinema. That was pretty good. Just enjoyable fun, really. Quite disgusting, actually. Was it the acrobat, the gymnast who breaks her neck? Oh, horrible. I can't. No, just stop. Ugh, I hate that bit. But that was pretty good. The first Final Destination film I remember enjoying. I think I've seen the second one. That's it, really. Not the third or fourth. I like how the fifth one tied into the whole series. 28 Days Later, anime fan Grant62 says, yeah, that's a really great film. I've only seen it once, many years ago, but I definitely need to give that a rewatch in recent times. In soon-ish. So yeah, I've seen it, and the sequel 28 Weeks Later wasn't quite as good, but 28 Days Later, really, really good. Enjoyed that a lot. Number 12, Scream 4. That was a film I saw in the cinema as well, and I enjoyed it. Again, it comes back to taking the piss out of reboots and remakes and stuff. And there's a great bit where Neve Campbell says, you don't fuck with the original. And I think it was a year after they'd remade Nightmare on Elm Street, and I think there's another reference to it as well. So I like all that kind of stuff. And again, a bit over the top, but it kind of goes in with the first film a little bit. And yeah, for me, I think it's my favorite horror series because every film to me is really good. And with most horror series, you have like a good original. It slowly goes downhill from there. Maybe there's one good one, and then there's maybe a good one at the end. But Scream, for me, I just enjoy all four of those films so much. So that was probably the highlight for me of the month, was finding that series and really enjoying it. Scream 4 got mixed reviews, but I had a good time with it. Yeah, again, I thought it was pretty good. Nothing fantastic, obviously, but 28 Weeks Later was a very capable sequel as sequels go. Danny Boyle and co. still said that 28 months later might happen, which will be interesting to see. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty good if Danny Boyle came back for that one. Definitely, I think that's where the quality came from the first film. Scream, then 2, then 4, then 3. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly how I would rate it, actually. Yeah, it's bang on with that one. James Fawkes, Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, the originals. I'd say Nightmare on Elm Street. I just find the concept a lot more enjoyable. You know, how go to sleep and you die, basically. This guy can get you in your dreams, and it's kind of creepy and stuff. Obviously, by the time you get to like the 6th film and he's playing Nintendo and saying great graphics, it's just like, it's ridiculous, and it has no weight whatsoever. And it probably didn't have any weight in the first film anyway, but I just vastly prefer Nightmare on Elm Street. Friday the 13th, it's a fun slasher, but it's not really for me, really. But I will watch all the Friday the 13th films eventually. I've seen all the Nightmare on Elm Street films. I think the film Strangers is bloody scary. Not seeing your killers is the best concept ever. Not seeing their face. The Strangers, not, or is it The Strangers or Strangers? I don't know. I've never heard of it, never seen it. Right. I think we'll go up to 15 maybe, and we'll cut it off and call this part 1. Again, if I had started when I just wanted to log in and just stream on Google Hangouts, then we could have done this. But no, I had to download software and do all this piss arsing about. So, number 13, The Curse of Frankenstein, 1957. This is Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee as Frankenstein's monster, and I loved Peter Cushing's performance as Frankenstein. Basically, how like possessed he was with, well, not possessed, but how driven he was to create this monster, and how like clinical it was, and how like, you know, he got this guy who was hung and got his body, and then he wanted like a brain of like a genius. He wanted like the hands of a painter and stuff, of an artist, and the depths that he would sink to, and how his assistant or his older assistant in the film was kind of seeing that this is going against nature. And how Peter Cushing was just like, you know, or Victor Frankenstein was just driven to just, no matter what, to create this monster. And then we have Christopher Lee as the monster, and this is, I guess, about 25 years, I guess, or would it be? Yeah, about 25 years after the Universal Frankenstein, which is the iconic Frankenstein image with the bolts on the neck and the, you know, is it Boris Karloff, I believe, who played Frankenstein's monster in that, which I did watch later on in the month to get a bit of perspective. But yeah, I love The Curse of Frankenstein. Bit of a slow one, I will say. You know, it does plod along a little bit, but overall I really enjoyed it. Number 14, The Horror of Dracula. I kept on going with the Hammer films from 1958, and these were the two first ones that I think really kick-started the Hammer horror kind of cycle from the late 50s and early 60s and stuff. Not that I know much about them, to be honest, but my mum always told me she loved the old Hammer films with Christopher Lee, so it seemed cool and fitting for me to try and watch some of them this year. The Horror of Dracula was great. I mean, Christopher Lee as Dracula, just so imposing, so just brilliant, and Peter Cushing is in there again. Wait, does he play Van Helsing or not? I'm not quite sure, actually. I've watched so many horror films, but he's the one playing the one. Yeah, he's Van Helsing, I'm pretty sure, 95% sure, and he was brilliant in it as well. And just those two together are great, and I love the final moments. There's some great practical effects towards the very end of the film, and just quite a good kind of brooding and I don't know, foreboding tone to it at times, which I really enjoyed. And it's kind of similar to the 30s Dracula film in a way, but quite different at the same time. And again, Christopher Lee's performance, I just think he's great as Dracula. In Frankenstein, he was kind of covered up a bit, and just, I don't know, I just found his Dracula performance to be much more entertaining and dynamic. Number 15, we'll round it off with this one. I'll get back to the chat comments. Number 15, Poltergeist 2, The Other Side, from 1986. Last year we watched the Poltergeist for the first time, and I watched the remake of Poltergeist earlier this year with my mum. That wasn't good, with Sam Rockwell. I like Sam Rockwell a lot, he's a great actor. It was an alright film. It just felt like they chopped out half an hour, which they kind of did, really. Poltergeist is an amazing movie. I love that film. It's just, when I first watched it last year, I was like, why have I not watched this earlier? It was so good. So the sequel I had to watch, and definitely nowhere near as good as the first film, but it has all the same cast back again, minus the teenage daughter who was brutally murdered before the first film came out. Yeah, the Poltergeist films have a bit of a curse to them, it seems, because the young girl in the original Poltergeist film, she starred in all three of them, but just before the third one came out, I think she died. So it's tragic seeing her in Poltergeist 2 after knowing this fact, and just seeing this young, you know, gorgeous, sweet little girl who never grew up, you know. It was really depressing to see this film and knowing that she never became, like, she never got to her 16th birthday, or well, maybe she did, but she never got to, like, you know, to be an adult, and that was really sad to me. But anyway, it's a good film. There's some good stuff in it, but it's nowhere near as good as the first film. I did like the main guy in it. He was really fucking creepy, like, holy shit. Yes, he did a great job, but overall, Poltergeist 2, it was neither here nor there, really. So let's just bump up the chat. The remake of Maniac with Elijah Wood was pretty good, because he was playing against I've seen that around, Maniac, and I've wanted to see it every now and again, but just never really got to it. William Fold says, have you seen Trick or Treat from or Trick or Treat from 2007? No. If so, are you looking forward to his next holiday themed horror? Well, I guess not, but if you recommend it, I might pop it on the list for next year's horror month. Jason X is a great comedy. The sleeping bag murder was beautiful. I'm sure it was. Is that the one where is that Jason goes to space? Terrible. Well, you've got the new Frankenstein movie coming out, which I think is played more for laughs. Which one? I mean, there's so many. They remake these films so much. I've no knowledge of a new Frankenstein film. Strangers, you need to watch it in the darkness with the volume high. Okay, I'll put that on the list as well. Daniel H says, off topic, have you seen Spectre? Yes, I went to see Spectre on Sunday. I loved it. It wasn't fantastic. I don't know. It was. The ending was great. I felt like it was a bit too long. 2.5 hours. I just thought like it was a bit too long for me. Lea Seydoux was a great Bond girl. Her character was good. There was a bit I didn't like between her and Bond that was a bit too far. No, for me, without spoiling things. Christoph Waltz was fantastic, if a little bit Christoph Waltzy, just kind of what he does in every film, but he is great at it. So he was fantastic as the villain, and I love the locations and the special effects and the explosions and the action and everything. And Bond and Ralph Fiennes was fantastic as M, but and Q, the guy who plays Q, is really good as well. I like the young Q, but I don't know. I don't know if it was. I think Skyfall was better, and I don't know, I've got a lot to say about it, but I don't want to spoil anything. So yeah, it gets definitely a big thumbs up from me, but I didn't love it as much as I thought I would. And I'm shocked that it's the most expensive film of all time at this point. Comments are coming thick and fast. Written by Max Landis too, so it might be a bit shite. I liked Chronicle and American Ultra. I love Chronicle. I think Chronicle is a great film. Chronicle was okay, but irritating in places, and American Ultra wasn't as original as Landis made out. I haven't seen American Ultra yet. Could have been improved with a re-edit. Carl says he sent a picture of the Strangers on my phone already. Let's have a look. Oh, I've seen the posters to that. Okay, interesting. Alright, well, I'll definitely make a note to check that out, and now that two of you have said I should see it. But she lives on through the films. The third film was appalling, though. I don't know what that's referring to. The new Frankenstein stars Daniel Radcliffe as Igor and James McAvoy as right, James McAvoy is one of my favorite actors. I think he's brilliant. If you've seen the film Filth, that's a great film. It is mental, it's fucked up, it's too much, but I loved it and thought it was brilliant. He's one of my new favorite actors. Well, he's been one of my favorite actors since I saw him in Shameless. I thought he was really good in that like 10 years ago, but he's breaking into the bigger films now, and I think he's a great actor. Leave the originals alone is what I say with Poltergeist. Yeah, the remake was what it was. It was enjoyable, but it was basically just a beat by beat remake and wasn't anywhere near as compelling as the original. They didn't try and do anything different with it, and it could be a fine line though. Like, do you try and go too far? In terms of like, let's reinvent this classic film, or do we just stick to what works and try and replicate it? Yeah, remakes are very tricky. They don't really work most of the time, so it is what it is. Right, yeah, so I think I'm going to have to just do a part 2 of this maybe later on in the week, now that I know how to stream. So we got another 20 films to talk about. Yeah, there's a lot more to come. I just got stuff to do, so unfortunately I can't stick around and carry on. But thank you everyone who's participated and commented in the down in the comments. I'm glad that this worked out eventually. I was a bit annoyed, to be honest. Almost banging my head against this laptop that it wasn't working. And now I'm back to continue editing my many different projects I have going on right now, and to writing the book that I'm writing right now. Right, non-stop. Thank you for watching. I don't even know how to close this, to be honest. Let's have a look. It says stop streaming, so I guess that's it. So anyway, thank you everyone, and appreciate the comments. And I'm not sure what the delay is on this, so you probably won't be able to get another comment in. But thank you for joining in and joining along, and I will see you with the next one.